First out, we had the Prince of Wands. This is probably him. If he's an Aries, Aries is very linked to the Prince of Wands for a variety of reasons. Um, however, the gist of this card is that he's probably quite extroverted. He's probably quite outgoing. He might present as very confident. Um, uh, it doesn't mean that he is very confident deep down, but he may present that way. Um, he's also probably pretty brash, probably pretty bold. He's probably funny, probably charismatic. People like being around him. And he's probably very, very social. Um, Next out is the Ace of Cups. Um, and this is the Ace of Cups crossing him, which so the Ace of Cups is in the heart. Um, the Ace of Cups is um, uh, it's an outpouring of emotions. It's water is always emotions. So this is very beautiful energy. This is a new beginning at the level of the heart. Um, I think that there is some question about whether he has maybe some butterflies for you, or if maybe you have some butterflies for him. But this does seem to be the beginning of a romantic connection. That does not necessarily mean it's going to go well. That does not necessarily mean that there's not going to be fraught elements to it. But nonetheless, it does seem like at the moment there are sort of pure intentions in play. There's a very sweet quality to what's going on here. Now, if only I could get OBS to do the thing that I wanted it to do. This would be faster. Next out, you have the Fool in the subconscious. I think you're very motivated by the idea of a new beginning. I think that's something that's very exciting to you. I think that's something that's very interesting to you. I think that that's something very appealing to you. You may be leaving behind things, maybe exes, maybe other kinds of situations that just have you fucking sick of it and just like ready to move on and start something new. This is perfectly normal and natural. Um, uh, but it does seem like there's a lot of newness. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning, and that Fool card is a new beginning as well. And we're about to get some more new beginnings too. By the way, feel free to interject anytime you want with questions, comments, concerns. I'm not precious about that kind of thing. Next in the past, we have Dominion. Some chance that you moved in the past, or some chance that you, if not actually moved, then maybe moved jobs or something like that. Put yourself into a situation where you're surrounded by lots of people. A lot of new changes in my life. Moved and lived alone. Yeah. Okay. Great. Uh, uh, so yeah, I think that this is a new beginning, and I think that, well, in many respects, you're going through a lot of new beginnings, and I think that that Dominion card very much has strong implications of sort of um, uh, deciding who you want in your world and who you don't want in your world. Deciding who gets into your proverbial empire and who does not. This is, it seems like the question of boundaries is probably extremely salient to you right now. But it does look like you're ready to, or at least you feel like you're ready to open up a little bit and to maybe let somebody in. I do think you're entertaining this seriously. I do think that you care. Uh, uh, it's not so much about caring. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I get the impression that you're opening yourself up for vulnerability. This is the um Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is, of course, another new beginning. It's very strong. Uh it's very strong energy. This is very, in the context of a love reading, this makes some comfortable, but this is pretty strong libidinal in energy. I do think that you're probably quite attracted to this person. And I think that you are, I mean, the only thing that gives me pause is that you might be in a bit of a vulnerable place in terms of, with all this new beginning stuff happening. Uh, with all this new beginning stuff happening, you might be in a vulnerable place, and you might be ready to make bad decisions. Then again, I'm also kind of always in support of bad decisions. Next out is the Queen of Wands in the future. This is where you're headed. This is where you're going. This is um, I think that um, I think that your story right now is a story about coming out of your shell. And I think that your story is going to be a story about meeting people. It's going to be a story about opening up socially, at probably on many levels. Um, yeah, I get that impression. I think that you like this boy. I do imagine that the story here is centered on you. The story here does not appear to be centered on you and him. It appears to be centered on you and you kind of social butterflying or coming into your own. That said, the Queen and the Prince of Wands can certainly have a relationship. I don't mean to speak ill. I don't mean to speak ill of this relationship, and I don't mean to imply that it's not going to work or something like that. It might well work. In fact, I hope it does. But I think that the number one thing here is that this is your story and you're sort of figuring things out, and the boy is like sort of a piece of that, rather than anything else. Next out, we have the fortune card. The fortune card is, this is the Wheel of Fortune. It's very often known as the Wheel of Good Fortune. It is ruled by Jupiter. It is tied to success. It's tied to expansion. It's tied to money. Do you think he's wanting for stuff to get too serious? I don't know how serious too serious is for you. But my impression is that no. I think that if he wanted things to get very serious, he would be he'd be more likely to come out in the form of a knight. The prince is a little bit of a playboy. Um, the prince, that doesn't mean he can't turn into the knight over time. That doesn't mean he won't be interested in something serious down the line. But I think right now he's being playful, and I think that he's enjoying himself, and I think you're enjoying yourself too, and I think that's okay. You're both adults; you're allowed to enjoy yourself. I give you my permission to enjoy yourself. Next out is the Three of Pentacles, which is works. My friend T used to tell me that doing shit gets you nowhere. It's getting shit done that gets you places. That's kind of what this is about. My suspicion is that a lot of your life is dominated by work right now. This is probably a really welcome diversion for you. And um, I think that it's healthy, frankly. I mean, even if this doesn't become something serious, I think it's healthy to have a diversion from work, and I think it's healthy to explore yourself emotionally and intimately and all of this kind of thing. Yeah, like I said, I think that you're very focused on work. I this is just a matter of preference on my part more so than anything in the cards. But my uh, I feel like it would probably be a good idea to take things a little slow and sort of edge your way into to more serious territory, uh, more monogamous looking territory, right? Um, I think that you should leave your options open for the moment. Again, that does not mean that this can't become exclusive in the future. I just feel like you're in a new place, you're surrounded by new people, you're working a new job. There's just a lot of newness happening right now. And I think that you're very I just think it's wise to keep your options open. So play and have a good time. But I wouldn't necessarily jump for exclusivity at the moment. Get to know him better. Make him work for it. Next out is the 10 of Discs. This is wealth. So the wealth card is not the money card. Boo. The wealth card is going to be more about the fact that people your relationships are more important than money. The real wealth was the friends we made along the way. That's kind of the idea of the wealth card. It is sharing. All the money in the world means nothing if you don't have people to share it with. And my suspicion is that this is under hopes and fears. So what I think this is the hope that the I think that this is the hope that um, I think that this is the hope that you are able to accumulate a robust enough social surrounding or situation that you are comfortable and that you and also that you're materially secure enough to not have to worry so much about money so that you can focus more on your relationships. Those are kind of the things that I think that you're focused on, is expanding your social circle so that you have people to spend Christmas with, for instance. And on the other hand, developing your financial situation such that you have the stability required to be able to share the wealth, if that makes sense. I do think that you're fundamentally an altruistic person, even though I think you're money motivated as well. Next out is power. You said you moved recently. That doesn't surprise me. This card very much has to do with nesting. I think that this card has to do with the household, and it has to do with the household as your place of power. I think that you're probably still working that out. I think you're probably still turning your house into a home. I think you're still probably figuring out where all those finicky little things should go. And I think that you're settling in still. This is not just settling into the house, even though that's what the card would imply. Settling into a new life, finding your power within a completely new social like context. That's what's going on here, and I think that you will. I think that you'll put down roots, and I think that you'll ultimately be comfortable there. When I look at this spread, I see a lot of new beginnings. I see a lot of fire energy. I think that you're probably. I think that you're probably looking for the company of a gentleman as it is. He seems like a good person to fill that role. I also think that you're quite lucky at the moment. I think that you're a hard worker. I think that and I think that you're doing the hard work of building a life that is comfortable and homey in a radically new social like and geographical context. That's really hard. But I think that you're fundamentally money motivated, not in a bad way. And I think that you're motivated to build out your social horizons, such that again you can do Friendsgiving, or you can do Christmas with friends or something like that. Now, as to the boy, he does seem like a good diversion. But if you get a screenplay off the ground, just let me know, because I am a composer and I would love to write music for you. I will do it for as cheap as I'm allowed to. I'll do it for whatever the minimum is. I see lots of new beginnings here. I see lots of and I see a lot of new beginnings at the level of the social. That's what I wanted to say. This boy seems like a good diversion. It seems like a healthy thing. It seems like a good thing. Going exclusive with him seems a little hasty to me. It seems a little premature. I think that there is a high possibility that when you look back on this period of life in the future, you will remember him as a nice fling that you had at one point, more than anything else. I don't see things going badly. I don't see things being a huge problem. But I also don't see like marriage, kids, falling in love, stuff like that. So I think continue on the path that you're on. But I think it's up in the air whether or not this person is your person, right? I think that's up in the air. I see no indication in the cards to suggest that. He has kids. Well, that's good. I'm 39 and I've been divorced for 5 years. We should go out on a date. Apparently you have a type. That was a joke. So that is a standard 10 card Celtic Cross reading. Over here, you will notice that I was able to actually put the fucking cards up on the board. And I hope that that was really helpful for you in visualizing what's going on. Do you have any questions, comments, concerns, or anything like that? All right, Stream Elements, you're getting blocked. I agree. I think that that's the right attitude. I think that you have a good head on your shoulders about this. I would regard it as a situationship for the time being, and see where it goes.